What a draft they had. It was spectacular. And my go-to NFL analyst, Shane Orling, is telling me the kid we got in the 5th round, Austin Booker, is really, really good. He's going to have an intensive breakdown for us tomorrow on this kid. But if he is a piece, you traded back up. You had 11 picks next year. Not all 11 are going to be able to make your roster. So if you traded a 4 next year to get this kid on the board because you really liked him, great addition. I love the drafting of the punter. The punter is a weapon. And in this climate, outdoors at Soldier Field, and you got a guy like that with that leg, let's go. And then, of course, Caleb and Adunze, and then Karan Amagaji from Yale, local kid from Hinsdale. Did you see any of his tweets? They unearthed his tweets from when he was a high school kid. He's a huge Bears fan. And he was firing on them because they were bad. Mm-hmm. He was like a diehard fan. I loved it. I loved the passion.
That's right. What I really like, Cap, about what the Bears have been able to do, we know that the Bears didn't have like this long list of picks this year, the fewest picks in the NFL coming into the draft. And so with Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze, for those that missed our Friday show, I think it's very simple. When you look at Caleb Williams, we've known for 4 months plus that Caleb Williams is going to be the guy. Even with Justin Fields in a Bears uniform, you know that Ryan Poles looked at the quarterback position and said, you know what, we're going to try to upgrade, if nothing else, reset the quarterback clock by having someone who is the best quarterback on the board. Arguably the best prospect on the board as well with Caleb Williams. We'll see how that all works out the next 2 or 3 years. But the point is, though, is that Caleb Williams is going to be the man. And Caleb Williams clearly is embracing being a Chicago Bear just based on everything you see on social media, all the interviews that he's done. He's excited. And the thing I like, Cap, is not cockiness. It is a commitment. It is excitement. It is confidence that exudes from Caleb Williams. This is not new, by the way, because he was like this at USC as well. If you're looking for an all shucks quarterback with his head down and just happy to be here, just happy to be part of the ball club, that's not who Caleb Williams is. A lot of the young athletes are not like that because they want to be able to establish a legacy. When you have a mission statement and you want everyone to know, hey, I want to be legendary in this city. I want to be a legendary quarterback. Hey, man, he's got goals, rightfully so. I don't want my quarterback to be all shucks, looking at his feet when he talks to you. I want a guy that is confident, and that's what's needed in this city at the quarterback position. Again, I'm not guaranteeing anything with Caleb Williams. The makeup and everything I saw in college tells me that he is ready to go and ready to lead this team to greatness.
I love that he engages like the punter. Hey, man, welcome. You're not going to be punting too much this year. I love, as you talked about, that confidence and that fun personality. He welcomes the free agent quarterback we signed out of Western Kentucky. Whoa! Hey, welcome to Chicago. He just is changed the vibe around the team. Mm-hmm. That picture that he took in Detroit, and by the way, hats off to the Motor City. Set a record with 750,000 people at the draft, but they showed up and showed out in the Motor City. So, Shay, way to go, man. Nice job by your town. But I love the picture he took with all the Bears fans. And if you look in the background, there's a Packer fan there. There's a Viking fan there.
Yes.
There's some Lions fans.
Yes.
Like, oh, God.
Yes.
Bears are for real.
Mm-hmm.
Let's freaking go.
He's part of that excitement, and people want to be a part of it. They want to see the show. Oh, you'll see the show. It's Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
It's his show.
The Rome Odunze thing with his mom where she's giving, like, her thoughts on how proud I am of you, handsome, and blah, blah, blah. Dude, like, all of it. These guys just, it looks super freaking cool to be a Bears fan.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. And then Rome Odunze being part of this football team as well. A lot of conjecture, a lot of hand-wringing about what the Bears could do at 9. But again, this is just all the reports that we're reading, and we kept bringing them to you here on Cap and J Hood. The idea that the Bears could go up or go down in the draft, but it's right there. If the best available is 9 and it's Rome Odunze, that's exactly what the Bears went for. They got a young asset, which tells you a lot about Keenan Allen. My hope is that Keenan Allen can ball out and be able to play the lion's share of the time because he's got a young, hungry lion right over his shoulder in Rome Odunze at the wide receiver position. The other choices that the Bears made in the draft as well is talking about the offensive tackle from Yale, Amagaje. Okay, so to me, this is somewhat of a project, but it also checks a box on the offensive line. I don't know how good he's going to be. Obviously, you can go to any bar. Hey, barkeep, can I get the Yale game up there? They throw you out, especially in this city.
Yeah.
No Yale game. I tried that once with Wyoming over at Mother Hubbard's. Got thrown out.
You put the Wyoming game on? No.
Yes, so
Sorry, Jay Moore.
all I could do is I did the reading like you did over the weekend about this young man. Again, more of a project, more than anything else, but they liked what they saw on film. Besides the Chicago ties, they just want someone to be able to plug a hole. Hopefully he can with the number 3 pick.
Yeah, if he could come in and give you depth on the offensive line, and then he pushes Braxton Jones pushes him. May the best man win at left tackle. I just like them throwing more resources at offensive line. But the Caleb Williams Odunze vibe Friday afternoon at Hallis Hall at 4 o'clock, I'm locked in. My wife said, "What are you watching?" I'm watching our new football team. I mean, it's just awesome.
Let's talk about the punter because you mentioned that you liked that move. Torrey Taylor, the punter from Iowa, 4,479 yards on 93 punts. The Ray Guy of college in a lot of ways. He broke a record set going back to 1938. Now, there was some struggling there from Trenton Gill last season. I know that out of the things that you could talk about with the Bears, if we mentioned 10 things, Trenton Gill probably wouldn't make the top 10. But the point is, though, is that the reason why that Torrey Taylor was drafted is because it is Ryan Poles looking at the team and saying, what can we upgrade? That's the whole thing with the draft. If you are not settled or not happy about certain positions you have in the draft, then you have to be able to upgrade. Torrey Taylor is an upgrade from what you already have.
Massive.
See, but the thing is, and I know people like to be able to pee into the tulips of the Chicago Bears because they're looking for a reason to. There's no reason to look at Torrey Taylor and say that's a mistake because that's a clear upgrade from what you have from Trenton Gill. Gill was a 7th-round pick?
Correct.
Okay, 7th-round pick. Okay, so now Torrey Taylor, and again, for those that did not watch Iowa football, let me help you. Iowa offense sucked. You know who the MVP was for Iowa? Torrey Taylor, because of field positioning.
Correct.
He had to. When you're scoring 3 points a game and running the football 2 yards in a cloud of dust and can't move the football, that guy becomes your MVP.
Huge.
So you're just you're upgrading at that as well. So it's not just that Poles was enamored by Taylor. He looked at his board and goes, okay, there's 3 phases on this football team. So we got to upgrade at our special teams too. I know everyone's just all focused on offense or just defense. Special teams matters. It matters. That's why Torrey Taylor was drafted.
I absolutely love the pick. And so I reached out to one of my college friends who scouts in the league, and he said, that is a great pick. He said it would never have been there in the 5th round. He said, in your climate, that guy's a weapon. That is a really, really smart pick by Ryan Poles.
Just, again, people could turn a blind eye to special teams. That matters, though, Cap. It matters. So if you feel like Trenton Gill is less than, then draft his replacement. Let them have a battle, and we know who's going to win that one because this guy has got an unbelievable leg, apparently. I saw Iowa. I saw him kick, but I got frustrated seeing him all the time because Iowa couldn't move the football. Then Austin Booker, the draft pick by Danny Zetterman from Kansas, the defensive end. So I have no problem with that as well because they look at him, and I find him to be a work in progress. 505 snaps in college. He led Kansas in sacks, tackles for a loss, and forced fumbles. He's 6'4", 253, and works in a 4.3.
He can move. And if he is what Shay's telling me this morning, he thinks he is, and he's going to do a deeper dive on him tonight on film. This is a kid who, had he gone back to school, many projected late 1st, 2nd round pick. Bears get him in the 5th. Let's go. They just got to develop him now. They just got to develop him. Just the whole vibe around this franchise is so radically different this morning.
Now, the question I would have coming out of this draft, Cap, is the defensive tackle. You still need more depth at defensive tackle. Unless Javon Dexter takes a huge leap this upcoming season, it's something that the Bears needed to address, and they still need to today. The draft's over. Free agency I thought was stellar for the Chicago Bears, but defensive tackle is something that they have to be able to take a look at. They are leaning on Javon Dexter to take a big leap. Hopefully he can, because it's needed on this team.
Now they've got to just go out and comb the available free agents once June 1 hits, so we get all these cap casualties, the post-June 1 cuts. Those could come down any day, but they're not effective until after June 1, and see if there's an edge. Does Yannick Ngakoue come back on a one-year deal? I don't think you're counting on a fifth-round rookie to be the opposite edge of Montez Sweat. You've got to develop, and he's got to earn that spot. Maybe somebody they've already got there. Maybe Dominique Robinson takes a step. We'll find out. But it's going to be hard, as Ryan Pohl said, to make this roster. The roster has changed in 2 years so dramatically. It's unbelievable.
Yes, Cap. And that's how good organizations are supposed to do it.
Correct.
We admire Kansas City. We admire San Francisco. We admire the Patriots under Bill Belichick all those years because incrementally they got better, or they had a championship-like standard. With the Chicago Bears, we're so not used to it, people don't know how to react. Here's two things off the top. One, it's not about my board. I don't have a board, and Cap doesn't have a board, but it's not about your board as a Bears fan on what the Bears should have done, what they should have done as far as your board, because the only board that matters is the one in Lake Forest.
Correct.
That's number one.
That's correct.
Number two, when it comes to the Chicago Bears team, again, unless you just got dropped into the city and you just learned about Chicago Bears lore this year, Cap and I have lived it for many, many years. We've never seen anything like this.
Nothing.
But we got to make sure we underline the point, Cap. We've never seen anything like this and not about the draft. It's just about the building, the process of how they were able to get this done. And again, I'm guaranteeing anything as far as the Bears being the top of the NFC North on the way to the Super Bowl. The point is that the arrow's pointing up for them to get there because they're building it the right way.
They are. And I said this to you, I believe I said it to you on Friday. Watching our war room when they would give a shot, there's polls and even from we just look different, man. It just looks like we're one of the better teams, how we're run in the NFL now. Doesn't it? That vibe.
Right.
Again, they got to go out on the field and they got to produce. But, man, oh, man, I'm excited. I haven't been this excited for Bears football in a long, long time.
So there's two things I look at, right? First, I check myself and I go, is it just me? Or am I just really, really excited about the blue and orange? And then I look at the process of how they're able to build this and I go, I'm justified to feel optimistic about the Bears.
You are.
I'm justified. And it's not just because I'm a lifelong fan. I mean, many that are listening are lifelong fans of the Chicago Bears. But it's right there in front of you on how they're able to build this. And with Caleb Williams and his excitement, again, he's a young man, emotional, that wants to be able to win. I mean, it's really fascinating, Cap. Think about all the top draft picks that the Bears have had. And think about if they've ever had that kind of energy and excitement to come into the building where, as you mentioned, I got the alerts on for Caleb Williams to make sure it's not a fake Caleb Williams. I got my alerts locked in to know it's a real Caleb Williams on Twitter, and I go through it. But, I mean, it's buzzing every 15 minutes.
Oh,
Caleb Williams.
He's all over it.
Oh, God. Like every draft pick, every scrap heap pickup, he's welcoming them into the Chicago Bears.
Love it. Love it.
It's like, wait a minute.